I was speaking with a client recently about how she could structure her day as a freelancer. She's fairly new to the whole freelancing thing, is working on her own 100% of the time, no employer to think about, and she's having to think about how to most effectively use each day. And my suggestion was to apply a kind of timetabling system, which is what I apply to my day, which is to assign a block of time with ideally no distractions in that time dedicated to a particular type of activity. For me, the number one activity that I make sure I get 3 hours of every morning is my working on my craft, which is my writing. So I make sure I do 3 hours of that. I also make sure there's another time allocation for some marketing time, doing something marketing related at a certain time in the day. And if you think back to the way it was at school times, where you had these really quite rigid timetables, and you had a lesson lasting half an hour, followed by another one, with PE later on, gym or whatever you call it later on. And it was all very, very structured. And I said that is really that kind of approach, not necessarily as complicated as it might have been at school, but using that kind of approach in your own freelancing career, I suggested was the way forward. She then responded with a very good point, which was that it doesn't having such structure and such organization kind of go against the whole idea of what freelancing is about, which is having a liberated, free setup where you're kind of doing everything in the way that you want it based on your own sense of purpose, really. You're just doing what needs to be done, and it's a much more freeing way of doing things. Well, I beg to differ really with that. It's something that I started off doing when I was freelancing in the early stages, having no structure, just doing what came along, working to deadlines. That was pretty much the only form of rigidity in my business. And of course, that would mean things could get out of hand. I was doing everything based on my own emotion, my own sort of mood, doing things based on whether I felt like doing it or not, which is not a really good way of doing business. It's very easy to be swayed by whatever mood you're in, and you lose out on so much. Whereas if you were to commit to spending a certain amount of time doing a very specific activity and breaking your day down into these very specific types of tasks, that's where the freedom comes in. That's where being a free freelancer comes in. The structure creates the freedom that you're looking for. I know that you've got this kind of rigidity in the kind of blocks of time you allocate to different things, but ultimately you're in control. And being in control as a freelancer means that you're going to have a sustainable business. You're going to have opportunities coming in. You're going to get work done. You're going to be motivated, because motivation doesn't just come from feeling like it from within. It comes from committing to action through discipline, doing the action, and then motivation comes from action. Motivation is the feeling you get from having just started something. And so when you arrange your life around a very defined structure, or as defined a structure as it can be, you're going to get motivated and you're going to move forward with momentum. And that's where the freedom that you're looking for is going to come from. So hope that makes sense. It's kind of the irony of working as a self-employed person. It's structure first, discipline first, then freedom, then motivation. And the alternative really is to just be reactive, to plod along, meander through, and just respond to things coming your way, and not actually be proactive and be responsible about your business and move things forward. So it can be quite not so good if you're reacting to everything. You want to be in a position of responsibility. And that's really my point today. It's just that apply a timetable approach to each and every day. You want to make the most of the 24 hours you're given every day. And with that kind of discipline, that kind of organization, will come a very healthy business, a very fulfilling way of doing things, and you'll get more done. Hopefully that makes sense. And subscribe to this channel, like if you like it. Be nice, please like. I'm joking. If you don't like it, then dislike it. It's up to you. Follow me on Twitter at Red Lemon Club, as well as at Moonape. And I will see you in the next video.